read to you a paragraph today, so I want you to listen closely and see if you can understand what is being said in these words here. A seashore is a better place than the street because you need lots of room. At first, it's better to run than to walk. You may have to try several times. It takes some skill, but it's easy to learn. Even young children can enjoy it. Birds seldom get too close. If there are no snags, it can be very peaceful, but if it breaks loose, you will not get another chance. It almost sounds like a riddle. What could they be talking about? We don't know who is speaking. We don't know who they're speaking to. We don't really know what they're talking about, which is the power and the purpose of context. And so I'm going to read this paragraph to you again, but before I do, I'm going to give you one word. Okay, just one word that makes the whole paragraph make sense. And that one word is kite. A seashore is a better place than a street because you need lots of room. At first, it's better to run and then to walk. You may have to try several times. It takes some skill, but it's easy to learn. Even young children can enjoy it. Birds seldom get too close. If there are no snags, it can be very peaceful. But if it breaks loose, you won't get another chance. It makes sense now because that one word kind of gave us some context. Here's the definition. Circumstances that form the setting for an event, a statement, an idea, in terms of which it can be fully understood in a sense. The parts of something written or spoken that immediately precede and follow a word or passage and clarify its meaning. How many times have you walked up, maybe in the middle or the end of a conversation someone else is having, and what they say makes no sense to you? You walk up and what you hear is, you know, those blue ones are everywhere. You're thinking, blue what? Blue M&Ms, blue cars, blue Smurfs. What's everywhere? You got to tell me because you don't know what has been said or what will be said in the middle there. You lose some of the context. Scripture is full of wisdom and encouragement and instruction, beauty, teaching, and correction. And all these things are framed in this one great love letter. But how many times do we pick up a book and just read one page right in the middle or just one phrase? We don't do that. We want to read the whole book so we can see the whole picture. If somebody writes you a love letter, you don't just read the first line or just the last line or just a line in the middle. You want to read the whole letter so we can see it with context in a full frame. And so one of the things that we have to be very cautious with is when we look at passages of Scripture, because we can't start with Genesis 1:1 and go all the way to the end of Revelation every Sunday. And so we just take these little portions, these little parts of Scripture, but we want to make sure that we take them in the right context, which means that we ask the right questions.
Right.
Who's writing this passage? We know they're inspired by God, but what personality is writing here? Who are they writing to? What are these people walking through? What has been the subject matter of this entire book or this entire chapter? Where have they been and where are they going? And that helps us to see the whole picture so we know exactly what those verses mean. So today we're going to begin a brand new series called Context Matters. Through May and June, we're going to look at some very familiar. These are not passages pulled out of the middle of Leviticus you've never read before. These are ones you have probably heard and spoken your whole life. And we're going to try to really dig in and look at the context so we can see exactly what these verses mean and make sure that we're using them in the right way. So if you have your Bibles, turn to Philippians chapter 4 today. We're going to look at verses 10 through 13, and our verse we're going to focus on is verse 13. Philippians chapter 4, 10 through 13. And so first let me give you a little, small snapshot of what Paul has been saying, because we're jumping all the way to chapter 4. So what happens in 1, 2, and 3? Paul starts off with a thankful heart. It says, I am so thankful for you, church. And I'm so thankful for your love and for your concern and for your support. And he wants them to know that everything that has happened to him since the day that he was born until the day that he sees Jesus, he knows every single thing he walks through, that it has a reason. And this is what he's learned. To live is Christ, and to die is gain. So as long as I'm in the body, he says it's going to be Christ living through me. And the day that I'm called to leave this body, woo, that's going to be a gain because I'm going home to be with the Lord. So regardless if I'm in the body or out of the body, it's all about Jesus for me. And I want to live a life worthy of the gospel and of the good news. And that means I'm going to have humility. And I'm going to have to be a servant. I'm not going to grumble. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to question. I'm going to keep fighting the good fight. And I'm going to keep working towards that goal of righteousness. Which means that sometimes I'm going to have to forget about my past victories. Because as human beings, that's what we do sometimes. We say, well, you know, I did so good last week. You know, I had 0 carbs. Then this week, it's nothing but donuts 3 times a day. Because I did so well last week. I saved so much money last week. I didn't go buy that Corvette like I was thinking about. So this week, I can spend a whole lot because I did so good last week. As Christians, sometimes say, well, you know, I read my Bible so much over the last 5 or 10 years, I've got to be caught up for at least 2 or 3 years. So I just take a break. Man, on that mission trip, I told people about my faith at least 15, 20 times. So I should be good for the next 10 years because I've done so well back here that, whoo, my future is free. And Paul says, I can't rely on my past victories because all I have is right here and today. And I don't want to look back and say, well, because I've done all that, I can retire now. And instead I say, you know, all that's helped me prepare for what I'm going to do today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do some more. And the next day, I'm going to try to do even more. So I'm going to let go of those past victories and strain towards what's ahead. And I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to rejoice in the Lord regardless of my circumstance. And I'm not going to be anxious. I'm not going to be worried. I'm not going to be frightful or fearful. But I'm going to pray to God and let His peace surround me. And I'm going to keep my mind focused on the ways of God, doing the will of God for the glory of God. Now today, we're in chapter 4 of Philippians. 3 words of encouragement Paul gives us how we need to understand this context. Number 1, we have to see that sometimes there is circumstantial contentment. So I want you to imagine this scene in your mind. You're driving home from work. You pull into your neighborhood or onto your road, and you're looking around at your surroundings, and you notice, you know, the Johnsons over there just mowed their grass today. Well, that's looking good. Looks like the Roosevelts down the road put in some new rose bushes and shrubbery. Ooh, that looks nice. There's those other families over there, the Langenbachers. They ain't mowed in 4 years. Man, I wish they'd get their act together. You notice all these yards and all these things, and you get closer to your house and you're looking in your neighbor's driveway and you see an image that looks like this. Now this can be frightening if this is all that you see and that's all that you know. That's one context that you can have in this image here. You're driving down the road, you see your neighbor laying on their face in the concrete. This does not look good. They have had a heart attack. Somebody has knocked them out. They have slipped and fallen. They can't get up and forgot their alert beeper. Something bad is going on here. Now, what you cannot see in this picture is that on the other side of this vehicle is a wife and 2 kids. So this is a picture of me laying in my driveway. And so right on the other side of my car is Casey and my 2 kids. And a couple months back, they were going through this slime phase, where the cool thing was to make your own slime. And so you take like glue and borax and uranium and cyanide and shaving cream and green jello, and you mix it all up and it makes this homemade slime. And so they're out there at the carport and they're mixing up this slime. And it was hot, okay? So I was laying on the concrete like an English bulldog, you know, just cooling off out there. And my neighbor drives by and sees me and thinks I died. So they fly into the driveway and come run to the driveway. Hey, Pastor, are you okay? And try to jump up and go, yeah, I'm fine. Do I not look okay? Scared me to death. Almost had a heart attack. And then he sees Casey and the kids and there and goes, oh, I didn't see y'all. This is all he could see. This looks bad. Okay, so I had Avery go to the driveway and take a photo so I could use this one day. I had it in my Rolodex. From his perception, from his context of the situation, this looks like a bad situation, because who lays on their face on the concrete, right? Nobody does that. It's okay. But then when he sees the rest of it, I was just laying there watching my kids mix up toxic poisons. Oh, y'all are fine. I'll go back home now. So we have to see the context, the vision, the perception, the circumstances of our passage today. Let's start at Philippians chapter 4, verse 10. I rejoice in the Lord greatly that now at length you have revived your concern for me. You were indeed concerned for me, but you had no opportunity. If y'all know much about Paul, before he was Paul, he was Saul. Saul was not an unbeliever in God. He was an absolute faithful believer in God. He was a servant. He was an expert. He believed that he was living his life to bring glory to God Almighty. And he knew that one day the Messiah was going to come. He knew the law. He knew the Scriptures. But Jesus was not the Messiah. There was no way. When the Messiah came, there was going to be thrones. There was going to be stallions. There was going to be lightning, and there was going to be massive fires coming from the sky. This is going to be an important person who walks in with authority and authority. Here comes Jesus on a donkey, a servant. There's no way. So the followers of the way, the followers of Jesus, that was a cult. They were liars. They were trying to lead people away from the truth. So it was his life mission to get rid of these people, to have them killed, stoned, thrown in jail, to eliminate them from the face of the earth until he has this interaction with the risen Savior. And then everything changed. His eyes were opened, and he was saved. And then he was baptized. And then he spent time with the disciples, and he learned what it meant to follow Jesus. He heard the teachings, and he went out on mission. And he began to tell people the good news. And he began to plant churches all over the world. And all these churches would love Paul. And they would support him. And they would take care of him. So he starts off and says, I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for you, church. I'm thankful that you have supported me. And I'm thankful that you have loved me. I'm thankful that you are walking through this with me. But truth be known, I haven't heard from y'all in a long time. We don't know. Has it been weeks? Has it been months? Has it been years? I haven't heard from you, and so here's what I'm thankful for today about. I'm thankful that you still care about me. Because when you haven't heard from somebody in a long time, you start to think, I guess they just don't care anymore. And when they reach out, you go, oh, they still do care. They've just been busy. He said, I know you have concern for me. You just haven't had the opportunity, so maybe they haven't had any extra funds to send to him as a missionary. They haven't had any time or any people that could go and make that long journey. They haven't had the opportunities. And I am so thankful, though, that even though the chance wasn't there for you to come to me, you still had the concern. And I think here's a great lesson that we can learn from this. So many times in our life, we're at right here today, we are just the opposite of the church at Philippi. You see, they had the concern, but they didn't have the opportunity. And instead, we often find ourselves, we have the opportunity. We just don't have the concern. Well, like what? Do we have the opportunity to obey the Lord and do His will? We better believe it. Well, how come we don't sometimes? Because we don't have the concern. Do we have the opportunity to share our faith with lost people every single day? Well, then why don't we? Because we don't have the concern. Do we have the opportunity to support evangelists and missionaries every day? Well, then why don't we? Because we don't have the concern. Maybe it's a lesson for us that sometimes we need to take the opportunities that God has given us, and if we have a little bit more concern, what great things God can do with that combination. Yes. Philippians 4, verse 11. Not that I am speaking of being in need, for I have learned in whatever situation I am to be content. He wants us to know I am not reprimanding you. I am not writing back to you and saying, listen, I can't believe you guys have left me out here to starve to death all by myself. I can't believe you've forgotten about me. Paul, one of his greatest missions was to make sure the church was never inconvenienced. He never wanted to put a burden on the church. He would go, he would work, he would try to support himself. So he is not saying, it's your fault that I'm not able to do all the things that I need to do. I am not reprimanding y'all. I'm trying to encourage you. It's just a theme of the book of Philippians. I want to encourage you. I want to lift you up. He's not saying, for the last 6 months, I've been eating nothing but beans. It's about time y'all sent me some rice. Now I can almost be malnourished. He says, I'm not speaking about being in need at all. Well, why not? Because you probably are in need. Because I've learned in whatever situation that I'm in, how to be content. And that word content means self-sufficient, satisfied, independent. Well, that sounds kind of selfish to me. Paul says, listen, that's okay that y'all haven't helped me in a while. No problem. I'm self-sufficient. I can take care of myself. I am independent. Whatever I need, I'll find it on my own. I don't need y'all anyway. Did that do what he's saying? No. But if I were to come to you and say that, listen, I don't need you, church. I don't care what you do. If you don't care about me, that's fine. I can take care of myself. How would you feel? Hopefully you'd be hurt. You'd be upset. You might be angry. Let me tell you what you would not be. Encouraged. This letter is about encouragement. That wouldn't be encouraging. The same word used for content there he uses in 2 Corinthians 9. And God is able to make all grace abound to you so that having all content, same word, sufficiency in all things at all times you may abound in every good work. What he's trying to show them is that I am content regardless of my external circumstances. I'm satisfied and I'm sufficient because it's not what's on the outside that brings me contentment. It's all on the inside. Yeah. So when I was a child, one of my favorite shows was Rambo. And I think it's because I just really identified and connected with Rambo because we have so many things in common. You know, muscular physiques, the ability to survive in the jungle. We both sweat a lot, excellent at shooting machine guns. All these things just put me in Rambo, just like this. And so one of the greatest things that you could ever have as a child was the Rambo survival knife. If you didn't have one, you need to go on eBay or Amazon and get you one. Everybody needs a Rambo survival knife. So, it's about this long. And it has this razor sharp blade on one side, and it has this saw on the other side. But the best part of the knife is what's inside the handle. So if you didn't have one of these, on the very end of it, there was a compass, right? That way you know which way you're going in the jungle. You could unscrew the handle, and inside there was waterproof matches. There was like string with a hook so you could go fishing. Or there was a needle on the other end, so you could sew yourself up in case you got shot or cut out the woods. It had everything that you needed inside this handle. So as long as you had the Rambo survival knife, there was nothing you could not do in this world because everything that you needed was all inside that handle. That's what Paul says. Everything that I need it's not out there. It's nowhere around me. It's all inside. So often in our life, we base our contentment on our external circumstances. And so whatever we're walking through, that determines our contentment. And so what we try to do is if something comes in our path that would lead us to a place of non-contentment, we try to get away from that. So when the tides roll in, we try to get further back up on the shore. When the sunny and the rain clouds roll in, and we try to run away, and we say, well, there goes the day, everything is ruined. When the enemy attacks, we try to run from the battle and find contentment somewhere else. The key to contentment is not escaping the battle, but having peace and confidence right in the midst. It's not trying to avoid the storms, but learning how to rejoice in the rain. It's not about hiding from the tides, it's about being founded on the solid rock. How's that possible? How can we possibly find that type of circumstantial commitment where it does not matter what we walk through, but we're still satisfied inside? Paul says we must be ready for the challenging cycles. A few weeks ago, we went to Six Flags Fiesta. And so we have some season passes for our children. And so we went to get our, cards and our fingerprints and blood samples and all those. So we look at the line, and we put our finger on there, and they give us our card. And they have these things called meal passes. If you haven't been to Six Flags in a while, it costs about $84 to feed a family of 4 one time. And I don't know about your kids, but whenever my kids are outside and do anything physically active, they're hungry about every 30 minutes. And so you'll spend $400 trying to get a hamburger at Six Flags. So they have this big special on these meal passes. You get a lunch, you get a dinner, whatever. Okay, we do it. So I go and I get in line, I'm standing there, and of course, on this particular day, everybody else in the world also wants the meal pass, so it's about 20-30 minute line. No problem, why? Because I got peace in the valley. I am content. So I'm standing in line, and there's nothing more wonderful than standing in line when your wife and kids are hot and hungry standing outside. It's a blessed day. So I finally get to the front of the line and say, "Hello, ma'am, I'm here to get your fabulous deal on your meal pass." And she says, "Have you registered your season pass?" "Oh yeah, I just did that up front, got my fingerprint, blood sample, did all that." And she says, "Oh no, you also have to go online and register your pass." "Well, how do I do that?" She goes, "Oh, well, you just walk over there, we got laptops for you, it'll take a few minutes, fill out some information, you're done." I turn around and look at the line, so now it's back out to the door again. I've been in line for 30 minutes. And I said, "But ma'am, if I step out of line, that means I'm going to have to get back in line." "Yes, sir, that's correct." Obviously, she didn't understand the detriment of this decision. Okay, no problem. Peace in the valley, right? Content. Walk over there, so my wife goes, "What are you doing? You just got out of line." "I got to register, it's online." So I'm typing all this stuff. So in about another 15-20 minutes, we're registered. Get back in line, about 15-20 minutes, no problem. Back to the front. "Ma'am, I am here to get my food passes. I have registered online just as you requested. And I would like this meal pass, and I saw it online for this price." "Oh, well, that's the online price only. You can't pay for that here. You have to go back over there online." I'm looking for cameras, right? This is a joke. Jeff or Devin sent somebody here to do this to me. Peace in the valley, folks. Under control. Look back at the line. "Oh yeah, still there." No problem. Go back over to the computer. Buy the online passes. Get back in line. Get back up to the front. By now we've been here like 4 hours. Get my meal passes. Everybody's starving to death. My kids' ribs are showing. We go over to the eating place. We go inside. And this whole time, I like to really think about what I'm going to have next. That way my palate's ready for it. And on this particular day, it's a turkey leg kind of day. Okay? It's on the meal pass, get my turkey leg. So I'm going to stand in line, again, just surprise. And I look over there, and there's like 20 turkey legs in this pan. I'm good. And I kid you not, there was 20 people in front of me. And every single one of them got turkey legs. I can't make this up. I wish that I could. So there's one left, and the guy in front of me gets the last turkey leg. Peace in the valley, folks. No problem. "Excuse me, sir. How much longer would it be before you had more turkey legs?" "About 30 minutes. "We can't wait 30 minutes. It's almost time to go home." "Fine, just give me this." I got something else, went and sat down. By this time, I'm almost at speed time. So you get these big drink things, for $5,000 that you can put drinks in. We get done eating and we go walk outside and we have a backpack. And so everybody puts all their ice cold drinks in the backpack, right? Well, you know what comes next. One person didn't put the lid on theirs. It turns over. And the next thing I know, my whole backside is covered in freezing cold blue sticky powder. At this point in time, I just said, "Love, I no longer have peace in the valley. Give me the car keys. I'm going to the car. Y'all can stay here as long as you like. I'll be right outside and I'll be ready to go. It doesn't take a genius in this world to know that sometimes we have situations in our life that we do not have peace. And we do not have contentment. And so what does Paul know that we do not know? Verse 12. I know how to be brought low. And I know how to abound. In any and every circumstance. Even when they run out of turbulence. I have learned the secret of facing plenty and hunger, abundance and need. I know how to be brought low, folks. I have had some bad days. That's what Paul says. But I also know about abounding. And I've been on the mountaintop. And in every circumstance, I've learned the secret of being content, whether I have a lot or nothing at all. Two things we learn about this. Number one, life is full of ups and downs. We know this to be true. There are some days that are really great. Some days not so great. There are some days that you get a new job. There are some days that you get let go. There are some days that it's hot. Some days that it's cold. Some days when it's sunny. Some days when it rains. And some days when you have all four in the same day. There are some days that new life comes into this world. There's other days where life ends in this world. The roller coaster will never stop. Right. So how do we learn to be content? See, it's just that. Paul says we have to learn. It tells us two things. By nature, we are not a content people. A few weeks ago, I was able to go to a pastor's retreat called Longing for His Presence. And it talks about the power of prayer and solitude. And one of the things we focused on at this retreat was simplicity in our life. And so our leader asked the question, how many people do you know in this life who live in simplicity? And maybe you know somebody. Maybe you know, I know this person over here or Uncle Bill. They live the simplest life. They don't have the newest of everything. They're not always out there trying to get something. They're very frugal. They live simple lives. And he said, when you think about those people, how content are they? Exceptional. In our group, there were 7 people. 2 of the 7 knew somebody who lived in simplicity. The other 5 says, I don't even know anybody who lives a simple life. In simplicity, you can find contentment. But most of the world finds their contentment in having more, bigger, better, and faster. And that lasts for a little while until there's something else that's more, bigger, better, or faster. And then they want that, and then they want that, and they want that. By nature, we are often not a simple, content people. So it does not come to us naturally. So then how can we learn to be content? It comes to us supernaturally. Paul says this is a learning process. It's going to take time. It's going to take trust. It's going to take experience. And it's going to be a journey that will last your entire lifetime, learning how to be content in difficult situations. Because here's the truth, it's not easy to be satisfied when we are without. It's not easy to be convenient and to find sufficiency in Christ when we are struggling. It's not easy. But Paul says, I have found the secret. And here it is. Confident completion, verse 13. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. What a powerful verse that we often take out of context. So often people use this verse as a miraculous promise to accomplish anything they want to accomplish. And so this is what it might sound like. Philippians 4:13 says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Therefore I proclaim, I will open up a Chick-fil-A in Lavernia, Texas, with no credit check and $5 down, because the Bible says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This summer I will run a full 26-mile marathon in 15 minutes and will not sweat. Because the Bible tells me I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I will also open up a hot cocoa stand in the middle of July in San Antonio, because I believe that this year the high in July is going to be 47 degrees. It will be successful too, because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I will begin a fashion trend to where tank tops and Crocs are the new go-to outfit for all situations. Because the Bible tells me that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, do some of those things happen? Maybe. Very, very unlikely. But when we read this verse in the context of the whole book and of these verses before, what we see is that this verse is not a promise to superpower that we are going to be able to get, receive, or do whatever we want. That's not what it's saying at all. Right. Too many people use this verse like a joker. Remember when we were kids and you're playing battle or you're playing, go fish, whatever with your friends, and boy, you get the joker. That's it. This is wild, folks. I can do anything I want with the joker card. That's not what he's saying. In context, Paul says, I've learned to be content. And I've learned to be satisfied. And it's not by the outside, but what's on the inside. See, I've had ups and downs. And let me tell you, folks, I've had ups and downs. Paul says, I have been through it. And yet I found the secret to be content, whether I'm sitting in a feast with my friends, or whether I'm chained to a guard in prison. And here's the secret. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Right. Whatever He calls me to walk through, I can be content. I can suffer and be okay because Christ gives me strength. I can have plenty and be okay because Christ gives me strength. I can hurt and be okay because Christ gives me strength. I can walk through the fires or the sunshines, the waves and crash, the sea can be still. I can be hungry or full. I can be in trouble or worry-free, and I can be content. I can be satisfied and have suffice. Because it's not what's on the outside that brings me peace. It's who is on the inside. That brings me peace. And He's unchanging. Warren Wiersbe gives this illustration that I love. He says, Paul shows us that some people in this life are like a thermometer. And so a thermometer reads the temperature, and that's all that it does. And so if the thermometer is in a hot place, it reads hot. If it's in a cold place, it reads cold. If it's in a comfortable place, it's comfortable. And he says that so many people in this life, they live like thermometers. And so if they're in a hot place, they're hot. If they're in a cold place, they're cold. And if they're in a dangerous place, they're afraid. If they're in a peaceful place, and they're encouraged. And so they change internally based on our external circumstances. And so Richard says, so instead of being a thermometer, maybe we can learn this lesson from Paul, and we can be more like a thermostat. Because a thermostat sets its temperature from the inside. And regardless of what happens on the outside, it keeps that temperature the same. What a challenge for us that our internal temperature doesn't change by our external circumstance. But instead we be more like Paul and say, I have found a way to remain constant, satisfied, suffice, because I know who lives in me and through me. 2 Corinthians 12 says, for the sake of Christ, then I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities, for when I am weak, then I am strong. See, regardless of what we walk through in this life, Paul says, we can be content because all that we need is within us. And if God be for us, if He goes before and stands behind us, then I can set my thermostat on having continual circumstantial contentment because He's unchanging. And the anchor holds. I can be ready for the challenging cycles of this life because even though life is full of ups and downs, my Jesus is not that way. He's a constant. Always is. And I can be encouraged because even when the world says I should be discouraged, I know that God has a plan for me. And I have confidence in His plan and His provision. Because no matter what comes my way, whether it be pain or discomfort or distraction, success or temptation, I can stand my ground. Because Christ, who gives me strength, will help me to do all things. Lord, this is what we pray today. That we be convicted with the simple truth of this passage. That in Paul's writing, in his words, Lord, and in this letter to the Philippians, he wants to encourage them that the battles are coming. Trials, tribulations, and temptations. But we can still be content. Lord, He wants them to be aware of the fact that we have this plague upon our lives and in the world that says that when life goes good and there's money in the bank and we feel well and we have an iPhone 12 and we have a new car in the driveway, that then we can be content and we can be happy. But when it's raining outside, we don't have any money in the bank. And it seems like nobody really cares about us and we feel terrible. Then there can be no contentment in our life. Lord, help us today to become fully aware that our contentment in this life has absolutely nothing to do with our external circumstances. But our contentment and our peace and our joy, our satisfaction and our encouragement comes from the good news that we have a Savior that loves us and lives in us and through us. And that doesn't change. Lord, I pray that we be encouraged today and that we have the concern to use our opportunity. And that, Lord, the next time that we walk through a hard day, that we can claim, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And when we walk through a good day, we can say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And Lord, I pray that we could regulate our internal temperature so that we could live simple, content lives. We do not need our external circumstances to bring us joy or contentment. Lord, we only need You, and we will have that turned. Lord, we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Stand together.